This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, usually we save, we pull like a little bait and switch and we save the main topic for the end, but I thought we'd just open it up this week with the main topic, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. What'd you think of it, Vish?
It's good. As in nostalgia.
I like you said it's good. It's good. I mean, yes, it is good, but I wouldn't say it's great. It's sort of like Hawkeye. It's good.
Yeah.
But although, did you finish Hawkeye?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. We'll add that to the mix as well.
Sure.
So Spider-Man No Way Home. I felt like we've been saying this for a while. It's like Disney's going in a very specific like kid direction that I feel they've just full blown went in that direction. I went back and watched number 2 because I was saying how I like number 2 better, like Far From Home.
Oh yeah.
It's still pretty kiddie, but the theme is really good, which is like Mysterio's playing with marketing and propaganda to like shape the narrative of the world. This one is like, I don't know, like besties coming together from different dimensions.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like,
they were trying to do a redemption story even for the other Spider-Mans.
Oh, interesting. Redemption story.
Yeah, like it was something to do with for Toby.
Oh, because they all killed
It's a redemption for all characters, basically, right? But for the Spider-Man, it's like, oh...
I have full spoilers, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Toby, I don't know, I don't remember, like, how his story ends in our number 2 or whichever
very dark.
one. Yeah, so it's
like...
I think it's him going to help and save Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Actually,
and then the other one was saving MJ.
Yeah. That's actually interesting when you think about it that way, like redemption stories and like what past Spider-Man movies were like, because they're very dark, you know, because his best friend, like Toby's one, right? His like best friend died in his arms, like he said, and then in Andrew Garfield's one, he lost his MJ. Yeah. So like, I think well, they did kind of say too, they don't want him to walk down the same dark path as them, you know?
Yeah.
Which I guess in this one, it was his dark path because he lost Aunt May.
Yeah.
So like this is his version of, you know, like tragedy. But I felt like, okay, well, all right. The main idea was that everyone forgot him at the end of this thing, right?
Right.
And I didn't really like how that ended because it was kind of like, it was like a cop out, and 2, it's like you never have to use him again, and 3, you destroyed the first like whole story arc.
Yeah, it seemed like it was, for me, the way that ended was like in a way to give the rights back to Sony.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's talk about this like a business deal. So because Tara's mom was asking me about this, like, oh, what was with the new Spider-Man? Like, why were they 3? And I was like, oh, well, the IP was owned by Sony, but they licensed it to Disney. So, like, they were having some controversy with Tom Holland's character. But then because they allowed them to, like, take over the rights for a bit, they were able to introduce the Sony Spider-Man into this one. And she was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I didn't know that there's this whole, like, backroom deal. But it's like, that's really what this movie was about. You're right. It's like backroom deals. I could see it, like, remember they were having that huge controversy with Spider-Man before this one came out. They're like the back and forth issue, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll still come back as Spider-Man, but I won't be called Spider-Man. If that's going to be the case, they'll like change his name, right?" And then you saying like giving it back to Sony, it's like, yeah, even at the post-credit scene, it was like a giant Sony logo, remember?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, this is a Sony product, but like let's not forget Sony owns Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, true, actually, because then
Or the Spider-Man franchise, right? So like Venom, Morbius that's coming out.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
also Sony.
Right, all the Spider-Man IP.
Yeah.
What about Fantastic Four? That went back to Disney.
Yes. So Fantastic Four was Fox, right? So they bought Fox.
Right.
They bought Fox.
And,
Same with the X-Men. Fox.
Right. Okay. I thought X-Men was Sony. Okay. So the last thing is Spider-Man. So okay, that makes sense. So now we don't even have to like cut Sony in on anything anymore.
Yeah. It seemed like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. And because like they all forgot who he was, so they don't need him anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like resetting it.
Yeah.
To get him out of the MCU.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Which makes a lot of sense because in their actually this totally makes sense because like remember he's a lone wolf now. Even at the end when he was gonna go meet MJ and Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's gonna go meet MJ and Ned and tell them like who he is, he decided like, no, your life is better without me, right? So I'm just gonna like live this lone wolf lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So like they can still be in the MCU, but Tom Holland will not be in it, because they don't even remember who he is.
Right.
It's so funny how like this one backroom deal of like Sony versus Marvel, well, Sony versus Disney technically because Disney owns Marvel, has like shaped the Spider-Man franchise and narrative. Like it seems like. Like the way I put it was like it's the most ambitious Spider-Man because they put everyone together, but it's not like my favorite Spider-Man, you know.
Favorite Spider-Man
Movie, I mean.
Yeah. I mean this movie. Yeah,
it's not
right.
not my favorite one. Like,
Okay.
I liked the other ones, but okay. So I was watching some interviews with them, and we were like, "Oh, is it over? Is it over?" And it's the way they're making it sound. It sounds like it's done. Like I watched like Zendaya, Tom Holland, and Jacob Batalog. I forgot his last name, but yeah, the way they were talking, it's like, "Oh, what will you remember most? Like, what did you like the most?" Right? And they're like, now that this is all over, like the way they were talking was kind of like, it's over.
Right.
You know, and
I wonder if it's did they have only a 3-movie deal for those other 2 characters?
maybe, right? Maybe that's why they cut it. Well, I mean, 3 major motion picture deal because technically they were in. Were they in the other movies? Yeah, they were in Endgame. Ned.
Oh yeah.
Like
true.
Like for one scene, right? Yeah. So, but what was interesting too is Tom Holland said that he signed a 3-picture deal to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But my question is, because Robert Downey Jr. brought this up, he's like, a picture counts as a cameo as well. So it's like, as long as you're on the big screen, that's like one contract done. So it's not really like major like you're not the star of it. It's more like they can use you 3 times however they want.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe if they do like a Miles Morales thing, and then they show Tom Holland like being there for a bit, I'm not sure.
Right.
Or they save it for like another multiverse.
Yeah. Maybe.
Or does it count for like animated series? So
I
like,
don't know. Yeah.
Because you know, like the multiverse movie is coming out with the what's the name of the Black Spider-Man?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, thank you. So that one's coming out. So what if they do like a crossover thing and Tom Holland shows up in that one? Because he's jumping through universes too.
Right.
And then maybe he can transition to like the main. I couldn't see him a live action Spider-Man again.
Who you're talking about?
Like Spider-Man. I couldn't see a live action Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Like another one.
Yeah, not for a while. If there is going to be one, I just don't know.
Right. It would just be.
It's
Tom
just
Holland.
they left it with little hint.
Like the Venom
for the
movie.
Venom Spider-Man, but that was it.
Are they really gonna do that? Like you can't.
No, it's just leaving it as a hint, right? But like, are they gonna do that? I don't know.
So it's like a little teaser in case we want to bring him back.
Yeah.
Because they never said at the end. Remember they said like Doctor Strange will return.
Yeah, Doctor Strange will return.
Yeah, right. But they didn't say Spider-Man will return, so that's kind of weird.
Right. Yeah, it seems like it was an end. That's what I felt like to me. It was like a wrap up.
But that's the way
for
you
Spider-Man.
end. It's so sad. Like everyone forgets who you are. Come on, bro. Like he has the worst luck out of all the superheroes.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Even in James Bond, they did that, right? James Bond will return.
Mm-hmm.
So like you knew that James Bond would return. Not Daniel Craig's James Bond, but James Bond himself will return.
Right.
Oh, although if you look at the way it ended, so like the way James Bond ended, like the Daniel Craig franchise, he died.
Mm-hmm.
So this Tom Holland franchise, he technically died too, because they forgot who he was.
To
So
everybody.
like maybe even though I'm like, oh, that what a sad ending. He didn't sail off into the sunset. Maybe like there's a movie zeitgeist right now where like the prime directive is leaving things sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like we saw that with James Bond. It ended sad,
Yeah.
and then Tom Holland ended sad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe that is.
And
maybe it
wearing
really is
the
end.
it ended off with him wearing that the iconic, I guess, the comic
one, right?
the comic spider
very
suit. Yeah.
bright blue.
Yeah.
With I saw that too. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. That's like the original.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that though. It was like too cartoony. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the end. It was a wrap up, right?
Yeah,
Of
true.
everything.
So Jacob, aka Ned, he was like, oh, it would be cool if like Disney Plus cast me for Shield.
Oh.
He's saying that in the interview, like, because they're like, oh, what do you think will happen after with Ned? And he's like, I could see him working for Shield after Disney Plus. Shout out. He's like, it was like
Right.
funny, but that would be kind of cool because I did like Ned's character, you know.
Yeah.
He's
They
like,
and then it's funny because he dabbled into the magic, right? So it's like,
yeah, true. It was all right. So Wob said this too, and I was like, oh, is this how it's going to happen? Like, is this how it's going to end? I thought Zendaya and Ned were going to be together. Remember when he
Okay.
walked in the coffee shop?
Yeah.
And then she's like, hey. I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was the only one that thought that. And then Wob was like, did anyone else freak out that they thought that Zendaya and Ned were going to end up together?
Mm-hmm. No, it
got that
felt
too?
if
You
there
felt
was
that too,
a
eh?
it felt like that, but then
They were trying to make
They're
it
just
switch
being-
us. They were like, oh no.
yeah. It felt like that, but
Yeah,
there's-
maybe it was intentional. They're like, let's just mess with the audience.
yeah,
right now.
I think so. Yeah, because they don't know him anymore, so they only know themselves.
Yeah,
So-
totally. And they didn't even seem like friends. It's like, oh, they knew that they were both going to the same university.
Mm-hmm. Seemed like they were friends. I don't know. Yeah, I felt like friends.
But like not like close, like not like Spider-Man close, like when the three of them were like
Right.
super tight.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They went to the same school. They remember each other, right?
Yeah,
So
I guess. Actually, I was watching Spider-Man 2, and he came back from the blip, so he's actually 5 years younger than them. Tom Holland's character is
right.
supposed to be 5 years younger,
Mm-hmm.
which made no sense because, what's his name? Unless Zendaya and Ned also blipped, they didn't, right?
I don't know.
I don't think so because he came back. He's like, "Oh, where were you?" Like he was all,
Yeah, they were saying that in the second movie, right? Like
yeah.
about the.
The blip. They were
The
showing
blip,
that in the
yeah.
very beginning, like, oh, look how much they aged, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. 5 years, long time. But yeah, they all look like they were the same age. So I was like, okay, did they all blip together? Or maybe Tom Holland's supposed to be
Maybe,
youngest? Like,
yeah.
I don't
maybe-
understand what's going on.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little plot holes there, but
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
What did you think of Daredevil being in?
Oh, that was a funny little cameo. I thought that was
sick.
good.
That makes total sense now because, like, okay, I don't want to dive into Hawkeye yet, but like, with Daredevil being in this,
Mhm.
I was seeing in my feed leading up to Spider-Man and on the day of Spider-Man,
Mhm.
so I didn't realize it was a spoiler for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they're like Daredevil's character recast for Daredevil, like the actor.
He's been yeah.
Recast, and I was like, what? Why are you doing this? And then I saw like he'll play a strong character in She-Hulk.
Okay. Yeah, I think She-Hulk is like a lawyer too, right? I think.
Maybe. Oh, maybe actually, yeah. So, well, he'll be in She-Hulk, and then when I saw him in this one, I was like, oh, that's why everyone's going off. Like the internet was like, oh, he's recast. I'm like, what? But it's like, that was the spoiler.
Yeah, this is the first time seeing on big screen, right? Because he was only on the
Yeah, I love that guy.
Netflix show.
He was like the best. He was like the one that kicked off that whole Netflix thing.
Yeah.
He was so good too. Like his martial arts skill is like definitely legit. Although I don't think it was kind of cool too. He's like used eskrima sticks, like that's his like main weapon. But I don't think he is a martial artist. I think he's just a really good like fight choreography style guy. But yeah, it was sick. Daredevil was a sick series.
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't expect him to be in there. It's just
I didn't
randomly.
Well, your brother spoiled that for me right before we went in. He was like telling me all the videos he watched online. But like I didn't know when he was gonna come up, so I was like waiting for it. And then when someone was like, "Oh, okay.
I didn't know, so it was all a surprise to me.
And that was crazy when he caught the thing. Remember, like the brick was coming through the window. He caught it. Also weird from the show, I didn't realize that
the show or the
movie. Sorry. Movie. I think of them like they're all the same now. Like their quality is really, really good. For the movie, I didn't realize that Ned was Filipino. I totally thought he was Samoan the whole time.
Just because he's big.
No, like because his like Instagram handle is Aloha or like Life is Aloha. So I was like, oh,
maybe he's from Hawaii. There's a lot of Filipinos in Hawaii, though.
So I watched the interview, and apparently he said he was Filipino in the second movie. He was doing like an interview, and then he's like, yeah, I was born in Hawaii, but I'm Filipino.
There's a lot of people that are born in Hawaii. They're
Filipino. Yeah. But then in this movie, they actually did like a Filipino scene.
Yeah.
But it was funny, like it's interesting to see like the translation, because I saw this like meme and like this Filipino meme account that I follow, and they were saying how Spider-Man was different for people that understood Filipino, like Tagalog.
Yeah.
Because like what she was saying was not what Ned said. He was just like, he gave him like a one quick sentence, but it was funny. She was like going off about like how her apartment was so clean and they're just making it dirty. She's like, you made a mess there. It's like really funny. And she's like, look how amazing my apartment is, and you like ruined. She like gave this whole monologue, and then he's just like, oh, she's just saying you need to clean up or something. It's like, ruined it.
No, I think you have to remember, like they know that they're doing this too, and they're also expecting memes from this.
Oh, very true. Yeah, true.
This is all part of the whole marketing thing.
Very
too.
true. Okay,
it's like
fair point. Yeah,
they do it like that, and then you can tell like sometimes like, okay, this is going to be a meme thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
so it's
true,
like it's designed to be.
True. Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Yeah. It's also funny to see like how far Filipino notoriety has come. Because I remember in elementary school, like I was the only Filipino for so long. And then I went to a Filipino high school, and I was like, oh, there's like more of us.
Yeah.
And then now like this like scene on the big screen, I was like, whoa. Which makes you think it's like, are Filipinos like subtly taking over? Because I hear them a lot, being mentioned a lot now. But I don't know if that's like, like that's just because I'm paying more attention or something.
Right.
Yeah. But I like the, I like the, what do you call it? The stereotypes of him. Like the computers, like how he had like all the, and then I look, when he said he was Filipino, I was like, I look at my screens, I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. And how he like loves all the food and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. They're really tapping in the stereotype there, but I didn't realize. Yeah.
Right.
I like his character.
His character was good. I liked him. Yeah.
It's weird though, in Miles Morales, the movie, his Ned is like some like Chinese dude. His guy in the chair, remember that? His like the person.
Yeah.
That was weird. But it's interesting.
Asian. I don't know what Chinese or Asian.
But it's weird, like when you look at like the parallel, like you can actually see them as universes now. Because remember, MJ was like, "Oh, my name's MJ," and they're like, "Oh, Mary Jane." Like, no, Michelle Jones.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever. Did we know her name was Michelle Jones?
I think I've heard of the Jones. I just didn't click in it. I just accepted it as
Mary
MJ.
Jane.
Yeah.
That's weird, eh? It just shows you like, yeah, these parallel dimensions. I think Spider-Man really made sense of movies now, because now you can tap in like looking at it as a positive. Like this movie really made it seem like you can tap into different dimensions, because like it doesn't you know, like when we were kids and you're like, oh, this isn't canon, or like this isn't a part of this storyline. But now because of the multiverse, they've tied them all together, and it's like, yeah, those movies are valid. So like those Fantastic Four movies, valid, because they can come back in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
pretty genius. The way they
Yeah.
did that.
I mean, Marvel has they have a lot to play with still. Like with the
Yeah.
X-Men, we're expecting how
but
they're
they
going
could
to
say
do
like,
that.
oh, that's just a multiverse version of X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't.
now that you put multiverse in there, it's like you can make any movie and it's all canon because it's like, yeah, it's just a different timeline.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how they introduce them into this MCU.
Yeah,
Like how
that's
they
true,
bring
too.
them in, right?
And how are you gonna find a new Wolverine? That's gonna be a huge cast, right? Because like
Yeah, that's a hard one.
he was like the main character, especially that movie Logan. Remember?
Yeah.
That was a great movie, and like, how can you outshine Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
He's
It's
too good.
well, it's a tough job right now to find someone that would be a Wolverine.
Although at the same time, maybe they just like, I don't know, because they're going straight Disney version, so it's like it doesn't even matter who they cast anymore because it's just gonna be cheesy anyways. You know what I mean? Like Hugh Jackman's Logan was like brutal.
It was proper. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
proper.
a proper. It was a proper Logan. Yeah, but then like now because of the whole Disney spin on everything, I'm like very wary of every movie. Even
Yeah.
freaking even this one, like we thought like, okay, this is the last. Like,
You know
one
what?
of the
In
last
some
people.
way, I think
It's
'cause-
better.
No. Ridley Scott is kind of correct.
Well, why? Oh, because of that the last duel
Yeah.
when he said that thing about like how like nobody's
Yeah. So like
attention spans.
exactly. Yeah. It's like not about attention spans. I think it was more like everybody wants that type of roller coaster,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not like an actual journey
right
in a
right,
movie.
right. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
because there's so many more Marvel movies now, right? That
True.
it's like people have been used to this, and this is what they expect from movies.
Right.
That's why Fantastic Four, or not Fantastic Four, sorry, Fast and Furious is like that.
right.
All of these
true.
like big
Cookie
franchise
cutters.
ones are, falling into that exact framework of like this is how the movie should be to make so much money,
Damn, that's so sad.
right? And it's like there's like the last duel that came out. I thought it was really good, but
But nobody
this
liked
is
it.
not going to be a movie for everybody,
Wow. Yeah, I could see that.
right? So it's
Damn.
like yeah, it's dividing where what's a franchise hit and what's
Yeah.
a mainstream hit versus like good movies or great movies, I'd
Or,
say.
you know what? Maybe it's like us as kids. Like now that I saw this meme. Like, isn't it weird that we're now the adults?
Yeah.
And like remembering when we were a kid, I'm sure our parents were also like, "What's going on?" Like these.
Yeah,
movies
probably.
are
Yeah,
not the
but these
same.
are yeah,
Like
true.
we're probably just like this whole transition towards Disney. We're both like, it's not for me anymore. But it's like, yeah, it's not meant for you anymore. It's like you died with Tony Stark. You know, you were the Tony Stark era.
Right.
It's done.
Yeah. That's
They
where I
killed off
feel
everyone.
Yeah, that's where I feel like
No, they actually did. Actually, think about the main people. Killed off Spider-Man.
yeah,
killed
the
off,
whole set.
Iron Man. Killed off Captain America.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Yeah. I'd say even Hawkeye is technically done.
Yeah, he basically passed off the mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Crazy.
like all the old cast basically done. So we've got a whole new set, right? And this is
I guess we have Doctor Strange still.
That's the-
It's like Thor.
but he
I
was
guess, but,
like in that last phase of it,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah. But it's like what feels right is like DC is the one that makes sense to me right now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because they're
even
all like
though
adult.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like the new Batman. It's
Looks
like
really good.
It's very dark.
Yeah, very
And
dark.
this is something that I can get it behind versus
yeah.
versus
I
the
agree.
super happy.
Yeah, it's like too happy.
Very colorful.
Even the Doctor Strange thing, the thing at the end, which is supposed to be like a teaser, but it's actually
A trailer.
A trailer.
Yeah.
That didn't look very good to me. I was like, like they're trying to make it dark too, like, but it seemed like horror, not like dark. Like it wasn't like when we say dark, it's like Batman dark, or like Wolverine dark. It's like, oh, dude, you stabbed him in the face.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like,
right.
oh, you're gonna kill a bunch of people. This was more like dark, like horror, like we're trying to scare you, like evil Doctor Strange. It was like, oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, but it's hard for me. That's why it's like I didn't really get or I didn't feel when Aunt May died. Right? It's like there's
true.
so many jokes around the movie where it's like I can't really
Oh yeah, that one pivotal moment.
care for certain, like I can't
That
really
was
like
sad.
emotionally connect with other characters.
Wow. All right.
But I was like, okay, she died, but like,
Okay. All right. Fair point. All right.
it's like when you
was
try
like
to
in the
do,
middle. I was in the middle. I was like, oh, it was really sad. Ah, she died though. It's like,
yeah, it's like,
yeah.
it's like, I don't know, it's like when you have that kind of comedy and then you try to do something serious, when there's too much of it, it's like I can't really connect to that level.
Even the way she died when she got hit by the glider, I was like, this is kind of weird. I thought she would have died right away. Like she probably broke her back or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, technically she would have been sliced in half.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been dark. Imagine if they did, we would have been like, whoa.
Yeah, because she was like up and walking, and then she like
so it's like, why are you
it felt
walking around,
weird.
bro?
She should have just been like lying there.
Yeah. From the very beginning, totally. You know, one thing that we were. Let's address two things that we were wrong on. First one, Venom.
Oh
Did not, and that was very sad for me.
Yeah.
Like we kept, when's Venom? We know he's coming, and then he was just like the sneak peek at the end.
Yeah, and then you just right back into his universe.
Yeah, so that was really annoying because it's like
nothing
okay,
changed.
You didn't. Yeah, what was the point? It was kind of a bait and switch for us, you know, to see Venom because we all thought with the last movie he was going to be in this.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then nope, they didn't do that. And then he left a piece of the symbiote, but it's like now we have to wait for that storyline to be written if they're going to write that storyline.
Yeah.
There's really only two ways to play this. If you're going to, like, let's say they get back the IP from Sony. Let's say Disney buys Sony, right? And then you get the IP of Spider-Man back. Are you really going to rewrite a whole movie and say like, oh, actually, there's a way to counteract the spell? You know what I mean? That's the next logical movie. If you
No,
wanna bring it
I don't
back.
think so. It's done. I think for MCU wise, he's done. It was just
But if he's not, I'm saying.
yeah.
It's just gonna be dumb because it's like, okay, so you use this masterful spell. We all felt really sad, and then you brought him back in the next movie, and the whole next movie was about him. Or, you know, it's like Far From Home, No Way Home. The next one is Finding My Home, or Going Back Home.
Right,
something like that.
Right,
and then it's like about him, like fixing the memory loss or whatever, and then Venom comes back.
right.
Maybe they might play it that way. Might be dumb though. Who knows?
I mean, they can do whatever they want,
Yeah,
but
they can
it
do
just
whatever they
doesn't
want.
feel like that's the way it's going. So
And then the other one was the Brazil edit.
yeah, that was the real edit.
Yeah, so all they did was just hide the animations.
Yeah,
on
it's
that
just
one.
it's like a layer thing, right? As I
Yeah.
was saying, it's like you just hide the layer.
Yeah, because when we saw the actual scene, it was the three Spider-Men
Yeah.
hitting all the villains. But I guess they didn't want to show that in the trailer because then that would be
Yeah, of course.
giving it away.
Yeah.
I was still shocked.
I mean, it
when-
was good that they. I mean, I do like that they've. I mean, we wanted that, but it was like they hit it.
They did. They really did.
I think they did a
I
good
was-
job in doing that.
Yeah, I was shocked when Andrew Garfield showed up on screen. I was like, whoa.
I was expecting him. I wasn't expecting Toby.
You weren't expecting Toby.
Yeah, I was expecting Andrew Garfield. I just wasn't expecting.
Oh, if they didn't bring Toby, that'd be really bad.
Yeah, I know, but it was like he's even much like an older, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if they can get Toby or like.
True. he lost my respect after Molly's game. I read the book.
Yeah,
and,
I know. But,
So
but
it's
every
like,
time
I
he
can't
said
do
it's
it.
about redemption or something, it's like I just think of that.
Like a redeeming.
Yeah, like
your
like
character, yeah.
redeeming
'Cause
his.
he hasn't made like a movie.
He hasn't
in
done
forever.
anything. I don't think he's done anything. So it's like I just keep thinking that whenever he uses those words,
Yeah,
it's like it's
yeah.
about himself.
Yeah, totally. Even in that little video I sent you, remember the 3 reactions of Spider-Man to paparazzi? He was like such a jerk. He was like, "Whoa, chill, bro."
Yeah,
You can
but
tell
he has that.
Yeah,
Character
the
is-
darkness in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all I got for Spider-Man. Anything else?
It was a cool thing to see them all together, but it was just not like a great movie.
Yeah, right. Most ambitious one,
Yeah.
but not the best one.
Mhm.
It was super ambitious. Like you put all the villains in it. You got like Jamie Foxx. You got like
It was.
So
That's what I'm saying.
villains,
It was
bro.
redeeming every single character. It was just
Yeah.
all the Spider-Mans have happened, right? All the villains. It's like let's bring them back to their humanities or something. So it's like that
Yeah,
was
true,
that
true,
was
true.
that was the story. But then they all got sent back.
It's interesting because if you want to watch those other Spider-Man, you can technically end it with this Spider-Man. So if you watch the Tobey Maguire series,
Yeah.
you should jump straight to multiverse.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, actually think about that. That's pretty cool. Like you can watch Tobey Maguire's one. You're like, oh, this is such a great series. How's it going to end? Then you go to
Andrew
Tom Holland's
Garfield.
one, and you're like, who are these other guys?
Oh.
But you only care about Tom Holland. You only care about Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
You can watch it through each Spider-Man's vantage point, you know? Which is pretty brilliant in that way because they all culminate into one movie. You know what? You are right again. It's like, it is like Sony's magnum opus, like their biggest
Yeah.
thing, because it's their IP
Yeah.
that they circled back on with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then now it's back to their IP.
Yeah.
This is not making me look very hopeful for Blade because of like the way this one, I was like, oh man, so you even Disney-fied Spider-Man.
I think that was I remember like that long time ago when Disney was starting to buy Marvel, that we were going to be afraid of that.
Yeah.
That
true,
it was
yeah.
going to become
Be
Disney-fied.
Like, yeah.
And it wasn't
is
happening
Disney-fied,
yet,
yeah.
and now I feel like it's happening.
Yeah, it's pretty evident now. It's like we're full blown children's now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even Shang-Chi, we were saying that of Shang-Chi and like all the other ones. Sad. Okay, let's jump into Hawkeye. So, what do you think?
It's not bad.
It's yeah. I mean, we did say that before. It was like it's a good movie, not a great movie.
Yeah. It was a good show. Yeah. Just
Oh yeah, show. Damn. See, they're all like the same. So it's like
yeah.
so. All right. So the thing about Hawkeye that I thought was interesting is Wilson Fisk and Daredevil got shown at the same time.
Yeah.
Right, because like Spider-Man came out, so Daredevil was shown, and then Kingpin was shown in Hawkeye.
Yeah, it was the same week basically.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about the last episode because that one's the one that really shocked me. There was a lot of killing and violence in that one. I saw a meme that was like, or not a meme, like a thing that said the final episode of Hawkeye is like rated 14A, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I watched the thing. I'm like, you just killed, like you were super violent in that.
Yeah.
Right? Even the way, like they like hit Wilson Fisk with the car.
Oh yeah.
Remember that she shot him with an
Yeah.
arrow in his chest? It was
Yeah.
like, dude, you guys are going off. You know, should have kept it at that level the whole time.
I
but
know.
They just like peaked it at the very end.
At
you
the
know?
end, that's it. Yeah.
I thought that was also. Do you think Wilson Fisk is dead? I'm pretty sure he's dead.
No.
No, what? The girl shot him in the.
No, when they
him.
went back to that scene, his body wasn't there.
Oh right. Whoops.
He's not dead.
Wait, no. No. At the end. No. Yeah, his body wasn't there.
Oh no. When he got shot. Sorry. When he got shot.
Yeah.
From the girl. No.
You don't think so? But
No,
why?
because they didn't show it.
Interesting.
When they didn't show that, I can tell that it's not done yet. That story's not done yet.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, when you cut away like that, if you see his body actually fall, then yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be the new Kingpin. I feel like they only brought him
No.
back for that one episode. Only because they didn't talk about his re-signing deal. They were talking about Daredevil's re-signing deal.
Yeah.
And then
No, I think he's coming back. There's no way. Why would they? If they were actually going to kill off Kingpin, then they would have actually killed off Kingpin. Like he would have actually died. Then it would have been her. Right now, it was like a. She pointed the
bait and
gun at
switch.
him, but then they cut the cam to another angle, and then you heard the shot. It's like, well, then
could have been anything.
it could have been anything.
Oh, lame.
Right. That's why I don't think he's dead.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, he did write a post that was saying like, "What a great welcome back." So I guess maybe
I like his voice. His voice is.
he's great.
He's good.
And I don't know how he's doing this, but he has like a little eye twitch.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he could like a rage eye twitch. I don't know how he's doing it. Like that's an involuntary twitch. So I'm like, how are you forcing yourself to do this? Like I get those too. Like before, not so much anymore. It's like when you're like overly stressed out. It's like I used to get them when I was like too much in front of the computer, and then my eye would start twitching. But I was like, how do you do that on command? Or maybe they just did that. They're like, okay, strain your eyes, and then we'll film the scene. Something. I don't really know.
I don't know.
It's weird with like movie magic, because we look at the movies and we're like, oh yeah, I'm sure they're fully safe when they're doing this. I mean, the Alec Baldwin thing, obviously, but the Uncharted movie. Yeah, you were saying? Oh,
well, you mean like by the actors? So stunt wise, it can be unsafe because it's stunts, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like now a lot of their movies are done just in sets, right? Like even all of the Spider-Man was just done on a set.
But you still have to do the thing, right?
Right. Doing the actual physical stunt is always a risk because there's even in some of the older Batman ones, I think like even stuntmen have died.
No. Yeah, but those are but totally so. But I'm saying like now with the way technology's gone, I would assume that like most of it's CG or like they're super safe or something, right? Because before they had to do it in camera, right? Like we all think it's like, oh, it's probably great to be a movie star, right? But it's like, no, you have to put your body through a lot, like body transformation, stunt stuff. What are you saying?
Yeah, like like I mean, that's where they can physically get hurt. Like that's why, like with the Alec Baldwin thing was like, I guess that movie wanted to use actual physical guns, but like if I remember showing you, like the CG breakdown for one of the second movie of Spider-Man, he with Samuel Jackson.
Oh yeah, as a CG
he wasn't
gun.
even holding a gun, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's like, I think a lot of these things don't want to actually physically use a gun.
Interesting.
Because of possible accidents, right? Or it's just easier without having a gun.
Right. Because you just never know. Right. Totally.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's like you wouldn't have expected the gun to be the fake one as well.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I guess so. Yeah, but okay, so
but like people do, physically, like stunt wise, doing that stuff. Like you expected, I guess, all CG.
Yeah,
but
like,
then
like The Witcher, right?
Yeah, I was going to say,
he hurt himself. Tom Holland was saying in an interview that that his like scenes in Uncharted were harder than Spider-Man because he actually got hurt. Like he had to physically do those, and like just because when you play like Uncharted, he gets like beat up really bad, right?
Yeah.
So like he had to go through that, and he was like, "It was brutal.
Right.
It destroyed my body." I was like, "Oh, really? Interesting." But again, you never think about that.
Yeah.
Actually, one more thing about Spider-Man. Why was he so jacked? Bro, I couldn't believe it. When Wob was saying in the chat, he's like, "Oh, like Tom Holland is so jacked." I was like, "What do you mean?" And then that one scene where he's like shirtless, you're like, "Dude, you are thick, bro."
Yeah.
Like not even like boy thick. You're like man thick. You're like so swole. It's crazy. And then I was like, is there a different role that he's playing that he's getting this big? But then I was like, no, in Uncharted the movie,
that was the one he did before this. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he was just like, okay, this is my last role as Spider-Man. Let me like look really crazy good on camera.
Right.
But then we don't even think about that, like the workout time and like,
Oh yeah. It's all part of that.
Right. So
contract.
It's like, it must be so difficult to be an actor. Especially now with like our expectations, right? Like when you.
Well, I guess lead role, right? Lead role like that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's like you gotta do all these press junkets. You're there for like hours.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, fair
just
point.
talking about and you're just saying the same thing because they're just the same questions.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're what's the name? Guy Ritchie. He was saying during those interviews, he'll like play this game where his friend will tell him a word that he has to work in. So like his friend will work in like a crazy long word, and then he'll like because they get so bored, right? So like, all right, let me just entertain myself here. But okay, so if you look at old movies like James Bond movies, let's say, right? They don't have to be athletically fit. Like
Old ones.
They looked fit-ish, but they weren't like. But now it's like you're an action figure.
Yeah.
So like we also have to take that into account for like movie stars now. We don't think about that, Like even Shang-Chi, right? He didn't look crazy fit, but like when you compare him to like Thor,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of like that bar you have to set now. Same with Tom Holland. Like that's a bar you got to set, and like if you can't achieve that, then maybe you're not right for the film. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
That was a thing for. I remember it as a big thing for Twilight. They were gonna recast Jacob Black.
Okay.
Remember the kid from like Spy Kids? Do you remember Jacob Black?
No.
Well, he was like really skinny in the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
but then he had to have a body transformation in the second movie, or else he couldn't play the character. Because like
Okay.
in the book, he's like supposed to be really, really thick,
Okay.
right? So like he went for the whole year just like lifting weights, eating protein, like being crazy about it, and like yeah, again, it's
Hmm.
like the bars have been set.
Yeah.
You don't know what
Yeah.
it takes to be an actor
Right.
anymore. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell like they're just doing this as a job, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
and like
Yeah.
once they're like done, they don't have to do
They
these
don't
kinds of
care anymore.
roles. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, yeah. Well, what's his name who said that? He's like, oh, Zac Efron said that. He's like, when he was in the Baywatch movie, he was like, I'm never gonna get this jacked again.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's basically like 0% body
Right,
fat, and
yeah.
like, but he was eating like cucumber slices all day. And
Yeah,
stuff.
you
He's
can't
like,
really
oh,
enjoy life in that way,
yeah.
right? Like,
And it's only for that one
and-
scene, the
yeah.
shirtless scene, you know?
right, right.
Dude, that's crazy. And not to mention like steroids. We don't
Mhm.
even think about that. We're not
Mhm.
even talking about that, but like injecting yourself with. Do you remember the night before the movie?
The night before.
It is like it was a Christmas movie with the Falcon from Falcon Winter Soldier, the guy from Inception.
Okay.
Do you remember? Seth Rogen was in it too. It's like the
Oh,
three
oh,
friends.
yeah.
So
yeah.
like the Falcon character, he was in the bathroom like injecting himself in the butt with steroids.
Oh, jeez.
Because he like, but it was
That
like
was
it was
the
a joke.
yeah inside joke. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
kind of like inside.
But
joke.
it's like no, you probably had to do that, you know. But we don't think about it.
Mm.
Yeah, crazy. Dark sides of acting. Do you wanna end it there? Because I know you gotta go. So,
I still have.
you still have time.
Yeah.
All right, cool, perfect. So another cool thing is your Tesla car update. It's so funny. Like that thing is like a toy. I posted on my Instagram and just like
Yeah. He tweeted something out where it's like it's kind of like saying, you know, the iPhone is just a phone, but it's not, right? Like it's not just a phone anymore.
oh, I see. What
So
you're
the
saying.
car, it's not just a car
true.
anymore.
It is not just a car anymore. True.
So that's what he
true.
was trying to compare it to.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
That's a good point. It's like true.
That is actually a really good
like
point.
our phone does the, you know, the features of a iPhone does the features of a calling and whatever, but now it's more than that because we don't use it only for calling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like it doing like the dancing and stuff. It's like it's showing you like there's more untapped potential in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it'll be interesting to see where the future goes with these like high tech gadget cars and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And you're saying there's like a Christmas. I saw your story where.
Yeah, that was there before.
Oh, okay.
I think I heard like some of the new people, like I only did it on the highway, but like if you're doing it in the local area, even the people turn into elves.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
like elves images or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was wondering about like noise complaints though, because so basically, if you don't know what we're talking about, the car plays loud music on the outside speaker and then it starts dancing, like dancing. Like there was the one where Joe Rogan was saying that it actually fully dances, like it drives in a circle and like does the whole thing. But the one you were showing me is like the windows go up and down and like the
Yeah, that was
lights blink.
that was the new release for this year, which was the light show. It's called the light show.
Light show.
Yeah.
And then me and your brother were walking towards the parking lot, and we could hear it from far away. And I was like, is that Vish's car? And then we show up, and it was like your car. But I was like, is there like a noise issue for this? Like, I don't know. Like, did they think about that? You know?
No, you just
Like
gotta
legalities.
follow the rules of the road. I guess. It's
But,
just
like, is there a rule of the road? Like
well, sorry, it's like follow your local laws. So if there's like
a noise thing?
yeah, if there's like a noise thing, you don't.
Because can you be pulled over if you're playing music too loud?
It's called. It might be like if they
Distracted
can.
driving?
Yeah, it could be like distracted driving to others.
Oh, I see.
Maybe.
Because you were playing also like Toss a Coin to the Witcher.
Yeah, but we're parked, so they can't really do anything if you're parked.
True. Yeah, fair point.
We're not driving.
But when you're driving, you can play that
Yeah,
on
you
the
can.
outside speaker, and it's like loud. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. They're like toys now. These like cars are
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like people like car collectors and stuff. They're like, oh, this is my toy. It's like that's more like a like an old school toy. This is like a real toy. This is like a tech toy.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that it was doing the light show. What other car's doing that? You know what I mean? Like,
actually, you can make your own light show. So that was just the preset one.
oh, you could design.
In the thing. So they said like you can go to like there's an open source app called X Lights.
Okay.
And then you can put your own song and make your own way
that's
of
so
how
funny.
to.
You're gonna watch like so many videos of people like
Yeah,
making
and then
their own
just
custom
plug it in
light
the
shows.
USB and plug it into your car, and it's gonna play that.
Can you do that while you're driving down the road or no?
No, the light show is only when you're parked and not in the car.
Okay. Did you try it at night or no?
No, I didn't do it. No, yeah.
Okay, because that would be pretty interesting to see it at night.
Yeah.
It'd be cool too if there was like different colors too, but obviously not because you don't have those like bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if like in the future they have like green and yellow and like
you
yellow.
can set the thing where like only my trunk is the automatic thing, right? So even the trunk can open and then probably close. Like I saw someone else had their
That's
trunk
cool.
open. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So final thing. I don't know, like nicely broach this, but like it's funny so we hit 10,000 cases today.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in the morning. But you were saying that, well, your brother said that you said in Singapore they don't do case numbers anymore. They just do like hospitalizations.
Yeah, so they track the case numbers internally. I guess you can just look it up like if you go to their own website kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like their public website, but they don't outright tell it to the public.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because all right, I'm gonna get some crazy mixed messaging here. So like, I was watching. I was telling you guys throughout the week. I was watching CNN, and one thing that they were saying. That's why we don't have cable in our house, in our like apartment. Although I would like it, that'd be kind of interesting. But I could see how.
For me, it's more entertainment. I view it as
entertainment for me too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I don't believe it, but like when I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is how most people consume their data, and this is why there is fear mongering. This is like actually why there's
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, you're watching it like it's the truth.
It's a little bit like unintended consequences. So like, the numbers are real, but how people take it.
Yes. How are you framing the thing? This is my point, and this is why I'm like going so nuts over this thing, because it's like yeah, if I said something in a very specifically framed, I think we talked about it last week, but like if I said something in a very specifically framed way, I can make you think one way or another.
Yeah.
Right. So all right. So on CNN they were saying like, and I'm like, does anybody catch this point? So he's saying that they're giving out the booster right now, right? And he's like, but what they're finding is that these boosters only last 2 months. So I was like, okay. And then he said, we have to understand that we're probably going to need a fourth one soon.
Who was saying that? It's just so weird to say that. It's like,
and I was like, what? So like, you're basically telling people, here's the solution. It's not going to work though.
But,
so it's like, so why take it?
No, it's funny because it's like, I don't know what doctors they're looking at, but there's like because I watch the radio shows, it's like there's this other person who's like Monica Gandhi, Dr. Monica Gandhi.
Okay.
She's also from California, but she's more of a like a level-headed type of person who's talking about actual facts of the thing, where it's like,
sure.
So it's like we shouldn't be closing schools, or like boosters are only good for like people above the age and all these sort of things.
So it's making me so like, it's funny because like you can even see it like within like my family and stuff, like because they're nurses, so they like, my mom's cool with it. My sister like has a little bit of contention with me over like my decision making process.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just look at the statistics. It makes no sense. Like, why are we freaking out over it? Just that's my only thing. Why are we scared? Like, if you look at the actual statistic, and she's like, "Oh, you're undermining my work." I'm like, I'm not undermining your work. It's like your work is still valid. I'm just saying that I'm not as afraid of it as you. But then as well, because I spent then like 2 days in my parents' house because of Christmas, right? And I won't even, well, actually, let's get into that. But like, so I spent 2 days in my parents' house, so I was watching the news, and I was like, you guys are tripping, bro. Like, this is, you're making it sound so bad. Even my social media feed, like, oh, 10,000 cases.
Actually, technically, it's more than 10,000.
Okay, sure, totally. Because that's the only reported ones, right? But then.
Yeah, no, what they were saying is that they've probably almost even hit the max of how many tests they can do a day. but it's like
so
that's
like,
why it's like it's actually more per day.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because they can't catch up.
Because they can't do
yeah.
everything.
So the post that I saw was like 10,000 cases, right? And then in the copy of the post, like the words, it said like Canada's total cases so far 1 million something, COVID deaths or something. It was like 1,000 to 4,000, something like that. And then I was like, okay, but your main image was like, we've hit 10,000 cases, freaking out, right? And the body copy, it gave you stats. So I was like, okay, so 4,000 divided by 1 million. And I was like, it's like something like 0.015. So 0.015 is the kill rate. And I'm like, what? Like, did nobody just divide those two numbers? Did we all forget about statistics? You know what I mean? Like, it's how I present it to you. So like the first image is like fear mongering, but then the body copy, it's like, who's going to run these numbers? You know, like did nobody think that a million total and then 4,000 deaths or whatever, like nobody thought to divide those two numbers?
No, I'm sure. It's just, if you're just looking at case numbers, never had that high, right? So they're just saying it like that.
But I'm saying like, look at the way marketing's presenting itself. But then I look at the comments because I'm like, am I the only one? And then all the people were like talking about like the division. They're like, did anybody's like, if you just like, and then that's why they're all like, oh, this is straight fear mongering. And I agree now because I'm like, if you present it logically, it's like, hey, let's all not get too scared. Like, sure, the numbers are high, but let's do what we can do. If you said it measured, totally fine. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, there's a way to say these things. Yeah,
you don't need to freak people out.
Yeah.
Like, especially with a kill rate so low, you don't need to freak anybody out now. Like, we've all done our shots. And then people were saying, and this is how I feel too, it's like, dude, I gave you my 2. Why are you making me do more? You know, that's me 10, that's me 20. You know, it's like, and then for a percentage that's so low.
Yeah.
Because we have, like, that's not saying, because then you're like, oh, so you're anti-vax. It's like, no, the vax did its job. That's why the kill rate is so low. But like pushing the other stuff makes no sense to me. Yeah.
I'd say it would be interesting to see the number because it's like that number is including before we had the vax. So what was the number after we had the vax?
Oh, dude. See, even thinking like that. See, you're making it worse now. I'm giving them the full benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, these are all the vax numbers. But you're right. That was the number before the vax.
Yeah. Including the numbers before the vax, yeah.
Including the numbers. So, like,
we're
all not doing the math. But it really, all right.
So it's not about that. So sure, I agree with that.
Let me put one.
But let me add one thing about news. News only sells if it's fear.
Longer. Yeah, totally.
Right. That's the only way that news works.
Okay, but all right. So you took a logical based program, right? You took. It's not crapping on people's education level. But it kind of is. But like, all right, so you took like an engineering thing, right? You do like soils right now. I'm saying as a job.
Yeah.
You have to look at the number statistically. I took a business program, which is like, okay, let me see if so for ads, right? We have to make sure our ad spending is making sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would we waste money, right? So we have to always look at the input divided by how much we spent, right? These are both mathematical things. So, like, if you come from a mathematical background, why are you not putting these numbers together? You know what I mean? Like, but I think maybe most people are just not even looking. Like you said,
but they are. So I think there are doctors that look at those things. That's what I said. Like this other person
crazy,
I said.
But they sound crazy.
No. Yeah, there are other ones that I said this, but there is an objective to news, which is sell, right? Like especially broadcast news.
Fair point. Okay.
So they're gonna bring on people that they agree with.
Fair point. Okay, fair point. You're right.
So it's.
I'm saying like the consumer, the people who are watching it. Remember we were saying that.
But that's what happens. So that's what happens because broadcast news has become such a big thing, right? Especially now when we have 24-hour news. They didn't have 24-hour news before.
Yeah, true.
Now that you have 24-hour news, how do you keep people attached to your screen for 24 hours, right? So it's like
right.
It's nothing but more cases, or these things, or like fear of this, or we need another shot. Like this is pure adding
you want like that
fuel to fire of
update.
fear.
You're like, okay, what are they going to say next?
Yeah, and how do you keep it 20? How do you keep your person's attention for 24 hours? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a marketing thing.
It's a thing, yeah. But that's why it's like print media. It's actual, like you read the actual data. It's like everything's in that, right? There's no like specific thing.
But nobody wants to read the data. It's sort of like what was that?
Because like I see the Twitter. If you just look at the Twitter of CP24, it just says like 10,000 cases. But then I go into the thing and read it, where it's like, okay, how many are actually hospitalized? How many are in the ICU? And then like, those are like mostly unvaccinated.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like
crazy.
if you break it down, and it's like mild cases, or it's like these are right.
So
Omicron is mild cases.
So you should watch. So I know you haven't seen it yet. Don't Look Up. It got a terrible score, but it's about this. So like, there's a scene in the movie where they're like, the president is like, okay, they're like, I heard you found a comet. That's great. Congratulations. Like, and then the guy was explaining mathematics, like, yeah, we use this law to figure it out, and like we're using this mathematical equation. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, boring. Come on, you're like, just give me the headline.
Exactly.
And I was like, damn.
That's the point.
That the movie Don't Look Up is about like an asteroid coming, and nobody wants to believe it because they're just like caring solely about the headline. Like, just give me the headline. I don't need this thing.
Yeah. And
it's like, yeah, that's kind of how we are as a species now. It's like, if you rule through the headlines, you can rule through everything.
Yeah.
Which is
sad.
Insane. It's sad and insane to me. I'm like, let's just do the math.
Yeah. So that's what Singapore, I mean, even before this, Singapore went into just talking about hospital numbers.
Yeah. Because
that's actually pretty low. So it's
Exactly.
And there's it's, at this point, I think, like especially with Omicron and it's spreading, we know that transmissibility is very fast.
Very fast. But what is the rate?
But there's no point. There's no way to stop this thing, right? And
true. Fair point. Yeah.
And
dude, I know so many people who have it right now. Like so many people. I won't name them on
this
thing, but
sure.
I'm like, oh, that person got it. Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is gonna be like the flu. There's no stopping it.
Yeah, I feel like let's see. Let's hope. I think after this, it might be done. Like, Omicron is spreading so much where it's like, I think that's gonna cause herd immunity, if anything.
Oh, fair point. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying.
So are you saying this is Pfizer and Moderna's last push to make them billions of dollars?
Maybe. Yeah.
But think about the industry that they've created. Like, you've created a vaccine economy. Like, people who have jobs, like, you look at strip malls where, like, Scarborough Town Center, they emptied out that whole area to, like, the vaccine clinic. I was like, that's a real estate space. Could have been, like, I guess maybe they're like, well, this is a secured bet. You know, like, why would we let a company get in there when we can be backed by the government? Because the government's paying for, like, the rent of the space, right?
Yeah.
So it's like secured money or whatever.
But it's not that long though, right? Like,
it's not
right
that
now
long.
like for instance, like now they're ramping up for the booster, so then they're getting all the spaces. But once, like even with after the second shot was done, like a lot of those places were gone, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have mass vaccination places. This is for temporary basis.
Yeah. But what about the people that want those, like are benefiting from those shot jobs? You know what I mean?
It declines. These jobs are there now, massively now, because to create the mass vaccination clinics, but then
totally.
When after like the second shot, they were gone, right?
Totally. But it's like, did we see like a downpour in the economy? So then they're like, oh, let's actually bring it back up with this thing because it's like this making no sense.
I don't know if there was a downpour in the economy.
Well, we don't know. Like, they're behind the scenes numbers, right? Like with all those people that, like, we don't know how the vaccine economy really influenced things in our society. Like, how many job loss, how many job makers, you know what I'm saying? Like there was definitely a benefit to the society for doing this.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
I think with the vaccine, like in general sense of with the vaccine, it helps the economy grow. I'm not saying
That's
that.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
Like people going back to work. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. I meant it more like you're giving people who don't have a job a job.
No, I don't think
those
so.
Call people.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I don't think in general in in the grand scheme of things, I don't think so. I think it's more like because people are vaccinated, then people can go back to work, right? So that's what will ramp up the
so what do you
economy
think,
again.
What do you think the agenda is here? You think it's just no agenda, it's just incompetence, or?
Well, I don't know. Based on,
it's weird though. They're like, oh, let's be pragmatic, but then they tell us to do all these things like that are not pragmatic. Like they're like, oh, let's be safe, right? And then they're like, just rush to get your shot, and it's like, but both ends don't have a uncertain conclusion, or both ends are uncertain conclusions. So you're not really being pragmatic with anything. The most pragmatic thing, I guess, would be a lockdown, but can't do that again.
But I don't think you can do a lockdown again.
It would crush so many things.
Yeah, and I don't think hospitalizations. I think that's the thing they want to see. They're wondering, with people going home, and if because everyone's meeting everyone, then everyone gets COVID all at once, right?
Yeah.
Is the system able to handle that?
Right. Do you see the thing that Pfizer just got approved, this at-home cure? So if you take the pill, it's like 89% reduction in severity of COVID. If you have it. So like, let's say you get COVID, you take the pill, boom. It's like fixing you. I'm like, that's a logical thing. Or like these rapids.
That's what I mean. Like, I think we have a lot of, that's what they were saying. 2022 may be the end of this because we have more therapeutics.
Yeah, exactly.
That we didn't have before the beginning of the pandemic, right? So having the vaccines, having the pills now and all these things, it's like, it might be maybe the end line of this thing. 2022.
That's why I also don't feel like because the rumors have been like, oh, are they going to make the third shot like consideration for full vaccination status? I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think you can. You might try and do it, but I feel like the backlash would be too crazy because at this point it's like our numbers are there, and there's also like therapeutics, and you don't need to force any vaccination anymore. We don't need to give up that.
I think the fear was like because everyone's going to do Christmas.
Okay, so here's the all right, so quickly speak on that because I want to jump in with this. Is so dumb to me. What were you saying?
No, because the fear of the Christmas, because everyone's going to meet everyone, right? So that's what's going to happen after they go home, right? Because in 2 weeks' time, everyone's going to get it.
Right.
That's the main thing, is like, are hospitals able to handle that? And if it ends up becoming just a mild thing, then it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair point. Do you see the thing with? So they're like, oh, have parties of 10. So if you have a party of 20, just break it. Like let's say you have a party of 30. Break it up into 3 10 people group, and then just shift those groups around. Like those people are going to meet each other anyways.
That's so dumb.
Like what? Made no sense. You're still contacting, like mixing.
Yeah.
Make no sense.
Yeah.
And then on Christmas Day, I was watching CP24, and they were like, it's a wet one out there, so when you go to visit your family members this Christmas, I was like, you said we're not supposed to do that. So it's like mixed messaging, it's like they're like, oh, like stay away.
No, I think it was like they're suggesting not to do it, but they have like
they know,
like like those internal polls, or like polls that show like, oh, people are gonna go meet their families. That's like the majority percentage.
Yeah. True.
So then they have to say like, if you are gonna do it, then do it like this.
Guess. But it's weird. It's like, at least align yourself with your messaging, guys. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but I think the news is just reporting on specific things. The news isn't like,
I guess,
isn't leaning on any messaging.
Right, but
they're only leaning on money.
But what I'm saying is like, if it's important, then you should align it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if two people have conflicting messages, how important can it be? You have to have an aligned message if you want us to take this seriously. Actually, you'll see that in...
but that's hard. Like, the government may have a aligned message. They have saying...
Right.
But then the news is going to say whatever, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally. You'll see it in the movie Don't Look Up. So funny. They're like, they want to destroy the asteroid. I'm totally ruining it, but you won't like it, honestly. It's poorly done, but the messaging's cool. Okay. So like the asteroid's coming, and then they're like, let's destroy the asteroid, it's going to kill Earth. And then they're like, actually, wait a minute. If we break up the asteroid, we could mine it for trillions of dollars. So then it splits into a camp of like save Earth and then don't save Earth, like for the money.
Right.
And then you see like this polarization as well. It's a brilliant satire of like society. Not well made, but yeah. Yeah, I think it's like the asteroid analogy would be like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like this thing's gonna destroy Earth. Like, what do we do about this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I really don't feel. I really feel like a destruction of confidence in the system, even more so now after this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it made sense in the beginning. It's like, all right, the kill rate so super high. Let's all get vaccinated. Totally made sense. But now, like with more messaging, more data, it's like I don't know. Even the WHO is saying like this blanket booster thing makes no sense. Like let's send it elsewhere. It's like you even have the WHO telling you that this is wrong. Like what are we doing?
Well, W's just is like it's like what's his name when Wish with the UN,
I was about to say.
right? Or it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're telling me not to go. You don't have the guns. I have the guns, so I can go.
Totally. So I was gonna say like, but this is different than that one because I was gonna compare because I'm like, I don't think anything in our history. The closest one is when U.S. went into invade and they were told not to.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's the closest example. But with this one, it's more like every government around the world cannot agree upon the best course of action, and they're all just doing their own thing. So
Yeah.
that just shows me that how confused we are as species.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a thing in Australia or something, New Zealand, where the cases are like one, but you have to be like fully vaccinated in order to go to work. But they're like, but there's only one case.
But
in New Zealand.
they've been strict from the beginning,
they've
right?
been super
They had
strict,
this idea of zero COVID, and I think that's a ridiculous idea.
Yeah, because how are you gonna keep it out?
You're not.
You know? Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like any little cases, they just lock down. Like this is not gonna work.
Yeah, right.
Like
So-
Australia's in trouble because of that, right?
Yeah. So see, it's like it's crazy, man.
Mhm.
Like we really don't. If
At this point, you can't really do. I don't think they can do zero COVID right now. Like especially with Omicron and its lack of severity
yeah,
and the high transmissibility, it's like if they're still doing zero COVID with this, they're not going to be able to end their lockdowns then.
yeah, totally, yeah. If you yeah, if you look at it like a case study, or if something really bad did happen, we'd be screwed as a society. Like this was a very simple, not simple. Like a lot of people died, but like this was a very low lethality or like low kill rate. Not now. I mean like let's say an asteroid hit or like the bubonic plague came out. You know,
Mhm.
something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a nice little dress rehearsal for what it would be like, and I'm not too confident in what we would do. This is
But you're talking
how
about the whole pandemic, or you're talking about after the vaccine?
no, the whole pandemic, the whole thing. Like this is what the world would have looked like.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I don't think you can compare low kill rate to the whole pandemic.
No. I'm saying low kill rate, like this one wasn't as severe as it could have been if a
Okay.
different
Like a
global
Spanish flu.
Spanish flu, or like a meteor hitting the Earth, something crazy.
Oh, I see what you mean.
What I'm saying is like as a global
I think if a meteor hits,
catastrophe-
I think if a meteor hits Earth, it's over. Like
yeah,
it's just chaos.
yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like if
These
you
are
look-
measured chaos, I guess.
right? Because it was so low. That's why I was
Yeah,
like low kill
yeah,
rate. Not
yeah.
like it killed people, but I'm saying like the severity level was low on this one.
Okay.
It could have been way worse. And at this low level, this is how you're acting. Remember I wrote, like I brought this up before, but like I wrote that article like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I really thought we were gonna work together as a world and like fix this thing. We did for like 10 minutes, and that was it. You know, so it's like if there was a global disaster, like a really big one, I don't think this would. I think it would be like game over for humans. Most humans, like we'd still survive, obviously, like little pockets.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know.
But
I
like a
mean,
big
there was
cities.
still some level of working together, right?
There was, but-
especially with the vaccines. Once the vaccines, but like vaccines are now hoarded only by the Western nations.
Totally.
Well, at least the mRNA vaccines.
Great example. There you go. There's the example right there. Like
Yeah.
hoarding, but not even just that. Just like the messaging in the media, like we're not aligned.
Yeah. I agree
it's
with
like-
it. With the media is
So it goes back to like the Don't Look Up movie. It's like an asteroid's gonna hit the Earth. So like some people, I'll wait till you see it and then we can talk about it more. But it's just interesting because like they went from like the asteroid's gonna kill the Earth to the asteroid's gonna create a bunch of jobs. because once we can mine these resources, people have so many jobs. So then people were like, no, let the asteroid come. And then people were like, don't let the asteroid come. It's like mixed messaging, right? We aren't working together. And I think that's really
yeah,
what
I mean,
this
I
show
think
does.
it's, especially when Trump, it's just like America's divided. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of division that's around the world right now.
All around the world, yeah.
Around the world, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, all right. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there's like even like all of COVID, but there's like little stories are happening too that nobody talks about anymore too.
Yeah, right?
Like Putin putting up all his, or potentially getting ready to invade Ukraine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I
So potential, maybe not though. But it's just like he has. See, that's the thing. It's like there's stuff happening, other stuff happening too. It's like
smoke screen. It's like, let's just use COVID as a smoke screen.
Yeah.
You see, they took out like that statue of Tiananmen Square or something in Hong Kong.
Yeah, but they said it was for safety concerns.
Okay. See, like,
so it's like,
but you know, like, yeah, you can hide a lot under the radar right now.
Yeah, especially with 10,000 cases.
Yeah, that's true. We're all freaking out.
We're all freaking out about 10,000 cases.
Nobody cares about the UFO sightings.
Nope. That's done. That's a whole story now.
Yeah, like
that's an old story. That's
like
over.
A year ago, bro.
That's an old story. It's over.
See, dude, like, all right, we might have seen sightings of an off-world planetary species coming to Earth in the form of spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
But we got 10,000 cases, bro. Watch out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
but it's true though. But it's true though, right? What's immediately affecting you? 10,000 cases, not the space aliens, because they're not, until they land, show their face. Or like,
oh yeah, I see
that's actually affecting you, right?
But then people are like, no, it's just CGI, bro.
Yeah,
I want to see real life. No, it's costumes, bro.
Yeah,
that's just what they're saying now is that the UFOs are just drones,
yeah,
like American drones that are like top secret. Like, okay, 10,000 cases though. Let's focus on that.
Yeah, but that's immediate, right? That's because it's affecting your lockdowns, affecting your actual
affecting. You know what I mean? Like,
no, if they do the lockdowns, it's affecting your life.
That's why people are watching.
Yeah,
10,000 cases, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, the kids can't go back to school.
True.
It's affecting your life. Aliens are not affecting my life right now.
Even though that's a crazy story.
It is an interesting story, of course.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
But it's not affecting my life. What changes in my life?
I think that's pretty intense that America outed all this UFO stuff during the pandemic. Because like, this is a perfect time to do it.
Exactly.
But like, you find out through this outing that all other countries, not all other countries, but like Canada and like some South American country, they just already released their UFO data like years ago. It was never classified. They're just like, you just Google it.
Yeah.
Or like look it up in
It's available, but like...
But who's going to read that?
Who's going to read that stuff?
It's only now that through the pandemic, they're like, all right, we'll use the pandemic as a smokescreen to release our UFO data because nobody will care anyways. Because we're all caring about 10,000 cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all. UFOs are real. Nah. Well, UFOs are real. Aliens, we're not sure about yet.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Till next time, Vish. What else coming out this week? Nothing, right?
Nothing.
No good movies. Matrix?
I might watch it. Not in theaters.
Yeah, for sure. No, not in theaters. No, I heard it's so bad.
Yeah,
I heard they're trying to do like all the nostalgia stuff. They're trying to bring it all back. Like they're redoing some scenes, like in a different way, obviously, but like for the Matrix lovers, they'll like it. It's like, oh, I remember that from the other movie. But like, who cares, bro? She's like, we'll go watch the other movies then.
Yeah. Actually, I was trying to watch the old ones. I can't do it.
Really? Oh, I thought Matrix 1 still stood the test of time.
Well, I was trying to like find cool scenes, but I didn't feel it anymore.
Wow. It's just the analogy of like...
I think it's just the graphics. It's like, it's old now.
Yeah, fair point. And Kingsman, you're not into seeing.
No, I don't want to see it in theaters.
Yeah. All right, so I guess... Well, next week is New Year's, so...
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last thing, did it feel like... I know you don't celebrate Christmas, but did it feel like Christmas to you? Like, I was like, oh, this is just like a regular day. Like, I just, like, nobody was...
It's just funny. It's like
raining. I was like, what?
What's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson, the tweet. I think he does this all the time, but it's like, Merry Christmas to all the Christians, and then to the Jews and Muslims and other people. Happy Saturday.
That's so funny. Yeah.
So that's what it is.
That is kind of how it felt. Like I went on that walk with your brother and I was like, this is just normal. Like everyone's out. Like it wasn't like festive.
Yeah, and I think all the snow that happened the other day is just all gone as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was like,
and most people are just
rainy.
going to stay home. They're not going out,
That's true too. Yeah,
especially with COVID.
because case numbers.
Yeah.
Actually, oh wait, all right. One sorry, final thing because I thought it was so funny. So like on Christmas Day, they were replaying the Santa Claus parade. So you know the Santa Claus parade, they do it every year. So this one was a digital one. It was so weird. I was watching it. So like
They did a digital one?
They're streaming in performances from different bands around the world.
Oh, okay.
And then the floats weren't even moving. They were in place and they were just like panning the floats.
Wait, where
And
were they
then,
doing this?
inside sets.
No, like, is it a U.S. thing?
No, it's
US?
Canada.
It was Canada?
Yeah, Canada has a Canada Day parade. Christmas parade.
Oh, okay.
But so it was just like, it was so weird because like they had the float and then people inside the float, they were waving and then they just had the camera panning them. And it was like, you know that's stationary, right? You know there's nobody there, right? It was just like, this is what we've come to because of COVID. So I'm wondering about like New Year's Eve, like dropping the ball in Times Square. Like what's that going to be like? Probably not going to do it, right?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know if New York has any restrictions or not.
Oh, okay.
But it's outside though, so it's better.
guess,
It's better
but
to when you're outside.
But,
Right?
well, so was the Christmas Day parade. It's outside. They just didn't do it.
True.
It was just weird to see them like live stream in the performances. I was like, this is so odd. This is a world
Yeah,
we're
it's
coming to.
weird. I don't think anybody likes that. They want to go back to the normal,
Yeah, true.
and most people want to be just back to normal.
Yeah.
I
All
feel.
right.
I think people are too tired of this stuff now. It's
I feel I saw it too. Like there was like a poll which is like most people are in favor for a lockdown, but their care for COVID is also waning.
yeah,
Like it's a Canadian poll. It's like yeah, totally. Like
yeah.
if we need to do it, sure, but also. Come on,
Actually, I don't
guys.
know. I don't think people want a lockdown.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
I don't think so. And okay, I don't want to say about lockdowns. I don't think people want schools closures. I think that's major thing.
Yeah, because then they got to be with their parents and stuff, and the parents trying to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see?
And
like-
actually, people don't really learn. Kids are not learning through this
Yeah, no,
online
totally
thing.
not.
So
No.
they know this. That's why they don't want this.
do you see like the CERB thing got continued as well? Lockdown benefit.
No, I haven't been paying attention to the news.
Yeah, no, because I'm like hoping for UBI because I believe it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
We'll see. All right, that's all. Till next time, Vish. Take it easy.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.